Good evening, sports fans. Welcome to League 1, Season 18. It is Week 15, and we have for you the game of the week, the most important game of this week that's happening, most important game of the season for these two teams. The Army-Navy game from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A quick look says that no injuries for Navy, but it is Henry and Shelton. Looks like Henry is out. Shelton will play on the offensive line for Army. See if that makes a difference. Quick look at the Army Black Knights roster before we get kicked off. Jeff Hayford is an 88 overall. He's an impact player. He's got good awareness and good speed and acceleration agility. He's a Army quarterback. He gets 109 through the air, and he gets 87 on the ground per game. So you'll see in a minute, he is the number 2 rusher for the Black Knights. Looks like Jamal Moore. Oh no. Does somebody have those completions? Okay, so he gets, all of those completions. Brandon Norman is their number 1 rusher with 101. Joe Jude, the freshman, has another 53. And the fullback, Robertson, has 22, but they do use a fullback, and we'll see if forcing it to Robertson is a good idea or not. It might not be a good idea considering he's an 87, but no, who knows. Wide receiver, C. Rivers is their best, but he only gets 44 yards a game. Stratton gets less than 20. Jackson gets less than 15. It is sophomore Justin Carlson who gets 51 yards. He gets half of their passing yards per game. We're going to be on the lookout for number 82, Justin Carlson, when Army has to pass. They've got decent tight ends, but they don't seem to go to them through the air. The offensive line is 83, 86, 83, 75. But Shelton, as we saw, was probable, so he'll play. Henry, who's out, is the across-the-board 3rd offensive lineman, so they've only got McNeil backing them up. But overall, it's a decent enough line. On the defense, they've got an 88 left end who's got 87 speed and tremendous acceleration. And they've got 89 right end, also good speed, tremendous acceleration. The D tackle is a weakness, and they've got no depth. They're playing senior Jeremy Lee as a backup D tackle, and then junior Craig Murphy left end behind him before they get to a sophomore 70 as the 4th D tackle. So D tackle is a weakness. Part of the reason why we probably saw them not use many D tackles against Ole Miss earlier this year. Linebackers are good, 85, 92 with an 88 backup middle, and 80 at the right. Corners are also solid, 90, 85, 85, 82, and the safeties are 84, 91. So this is certainly a better defense than it is an offense. That's an all-around good defense. The one real weakness is there at D tackle, and given the quality of the rest of the defensive team, it's not much of a weakness. So we're going to try and play smart football, not turn the ball over, and get stops, and see what we can do to win this game. As you see, Army with the number 9 rushing offense in the country. They've got an excellent pass defense, number 3 in the country, but we suspect that's largely because of the turnover differential and the quality of the run game. We're going to try and force them to pass and not turn the ball over. And with that, we are going to turn this over to the voice of Navy football, the head coach of your Syracuse Orange, Coach Spector. Coach!
Good evening, sports fans. Welcome to another exciting edition of League 1 NCAA 14 football. We are here in Week 15, the final week of the regular season. It is sandwiched in between the end of most teams' regular seasons and the conference championship week. This year, Army and Navy both come into the game with winning records. Army at 7-4, Navy at 8-3, and ranked 14th. And as Coach previewed for you, Army coming in with a 9th-ranked rushing offense, Navy with the 3rd-ranked rushing defense, Army with a great pass defense, and a solid turnover differential. Both teams averaging about 30 points a game. We will see what happens in this rivalry game, America's game, coming to you from Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the birthplace of the Constitution. A 97 Navy facing off against an 86 Army at a neutral site in a rivalry football game. No punches will be pulled. No predictions can be trusted, as this has traditionally been a close-run affair. Navy having the edge all time since Coach Ninja arrived in Annapolis, but the Army has pulled off a couple of wins over the years, so not entirely one-sided to date between these two teams. It'll be interesting to see what the weather's like today in December in Philadelphia. No telling what kind of elements we might have in store for us. You see there in scoring defense, one of the stats that doesn't show up earlier. Both teams very close, 22.5 and 23.1, both in the top 22 scoring defenses in the country, indicative of their strengths in pass defense for Army and rush defense for Navy. Ryan Downs, Reggie Henry, and Joe Bright, the star performers for the Naval Academy, all across the board and all coming in on a hot streak. On the part of West Point, Gibbs, Richard, and Davis, all 3 defenders. As was pointed out by Coach Ninja, the defense, the strength of this particular year's Army team at this point in time. And those 2 injuries on the line having some small effect on the performance of the line. It is a bright, sunny day, if a bit chilly, here in Philadelphia. Here in this early week in December of Season 18, the 2019 season within the context of the game. A almost cloudless sky, just a couple of clouds peeking out, but otherwise a clear and bright day for what promises to be an exciting affair. The stadium decked out in all sorts of patriotic regalia for these 2 patriotic teams. The Academy of the United States Navy and that of its ground forces set to do battle here in Week 15. Navy wins the toss and they'll get the ball in the second half. Army will begin the football game in possession of the football, as we see some last-minute adjustments being made by Coach Ninja as the midshipmen are set to get this game underway. Ewing puts his foot into it, and it goes deep into the end zone, out of the back of it. No return on the play, and that means Army will begin the football from 25, facing 1st and 10, right in between the hash marks.
The quarterback brings his troops out onto the field for the first drive of the game.
Army breaking huddle. And it is an option play, tackled quickly.
22-yard line. Well, did you see how the defense just swarmed to the
Going to be 2nd and 13.
Second and 13 coming up here.
Now here on 2nd and 13. Very early in the ball game. Back to pass is Hayford. A passing play to Stratton. Jeremy Stratton picks up the 6-yard catch. And it's going to be 3rd and 7 upcoming for the Black Knights.
It's 3rd and 7. Ball on the 28-yard line.
Army coming out in a wing-bone set, man in motion. Back pass goes Hayford. Looking. He's going to take off scrambling. And he's going to get the first down on the scramble. A 9-yard pickup by Jeff Hayford. Gives Army a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 for Army out at their own 37-yard. We are just a minute into the football game. First set of downs successful for the Black Knights. We are in the very early stages. Wingbone set up for the Black Knights against a 4-man front for Navy. Triple option play. Hayford is unable to get the pitch off as he was stumbled early. That disrupted the play. He takes the no gain. We're going to have 2nd and 10 when we reconvene.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball on their own 38.
37-yard line still. Now 2nd and 10. And it is a flexbone spread set. Hayford drops back, now taking off, and he's brought down for a 1-yard stack. He elected to move quickly, and League1 met him quickly. And it's going to be 3rd and long. Out of the huddle they come. 6:16 on the clock. Flexbone set for Army. Back to pass is Hayford. Looking and going deep. And it's incomplete. Orlando Henderson with a deflection. And that's going to be 4th down and long. Just Hayford's 2nd pass attempt. And it falls to the turf. Navy will get the football back. Following 1 first down. And the ball out to about the 35-yard line. 36-yard line is where it's marked. Hello, Leon, Navy's #1 fan. King with the punt return gets a few yards before he's met by the defense after a 7-yard pickup. The Navy will take over in possession of the football for the first time today. 27-yard line is where they will start.
And not only does he have decision-making and accuracy, he also has a really strong arm. And when you combine all those things together, it's no wonder that the people up at the next level are already taking a good hard look at it.
Out of the huddle they come in a spread set. Army responding with a 4-man front. Peter Moss in the shotgun. Takes the snap, drops back, and passes quickly to Reggie Henry. Reggie Henry with a first down and a few more. 15-yard gain. First down midshipman. Out to about the 43.5-yard line. Would be 1st and 10 midshipman following the play.
From their own 42-yard line. It's 1st down.
Now, after their committee meetings, Army comes out in a 3-3-5. Single back set, 11 personnel. Joe Bright off to the right hip of Peter Moss. And Moss is sacked on the play. It's a loss of 8. Now going to be 2nd and a mile for the midshipmen at their own 34.
second down and long situation.
11 personnel again for Navy. This time 2 down linemen for Army. Peter Moss surveying the field, takes the snap, drops back, looking, and sacked again. Back-to-back sacks. Brett Liston this time finding his way to Peter Moss. Looked like he was relatively unblocked there. In fact, it doesn't look like he was touched. And the result is a 3rd and 26. Armchair quarterbacks out there listening and watching. If you have any 3rd and 26 plays, please forward them to us. We don't have very many of them. 4:38 to go in the first third and a long ways. 5 wide receivers. Moss drops back and quickly to Henry, who's tackled immediately. He picks up about half the distance, a little over half the distance. Picks up 15, still 11 to go. And on 4th and 11, no question, Navy bringing out the punting unit. They will give the ball back to Army as both teams trade punts on the opening possession. Good punt down inside the 10 at about the 9-yard line, maybe even the 8. Either way, inside the 10. Ewing pins them deep, and it is the 9 where Army will take over with the 1st and 10 at the exact halfway point of the opening frame.
This is a fun game, and I think we're going to see a lot of interesting football before it's over.
Now here in a flex bone set are the Black Knights. Hayford gets the pitch off this time to Robertson, who breaks a tackle at the down and distance to go, picks up 3 yards extra, 13-yard gain out to the 21-yard line. Titus Robertson's first carry of the game goes for a decent distance after Hayford had been unable to get the pitch off on previous option plays, facing off against this solid run defense of the midshipmen. Wingbone set and option to the left. Hayford has too many bodies around him to do much of anything, as Navy predicted the run to the left, and they were correct. And the defense swallows Hayford up for a loss of 1. 2nd and 11 now from the 20. Navy took a stab at a guess. They were correct, and it paid off.
Second down and 11 yards to the sticks.
3 wide receivers, a halfback and a fullback for Army, coming out in a quasi-flex bone. Man in motion. Hayford back to pass, and a quick pass to Stratton on the slant. He picks up 12, going to be a 1st down for Army. 1st down, Black Knights. They're out to their 32. They started on the 9. They've picked up their 3rd 1st down of the game. 2nd consecutive after getting 1 1st down before punting on the opening possession. 1 1st down for Navy before they were forced to punt. And now here we are with the ball at the 33. Hayford up the gut to Robinson, and Robinson breaks a couple of Roberson breaks a couple of tackles, falls forwards, picks up 4. And it's going to be 2nd down and 6 from the 37. Here in the opening frame of the football game, still bright and sunny day, relatively cloudless sky, as Army breaks the huddle, staying with some form of flex bone. Man in motion, up the gut they go to Roberson. He picks up 2. Now going to be 3rd down, 3 to go.
They need about 3 yards to get the 1st down here on 3rd down.
Back pass is Hayford, and out to the sideline, and Norman has to come back for it, but he's able to go forwards and pick up the 1st. Turns a 1.5-yard catch into 8. Brings the ball out near midfield. Ball now resting at the 47-yard line. Scoreless here in the early going. These two arch rivals meeting up for the 124th time. As Hayford under center. Man in motion, option play to the right. Defense swallows him up for no gain. Maybe doing the best they can to contain this option ground game. They've had several no gains and ones. As apparently they are keying fairly heavily on Hayford running that option. And with good reason. This is, after all, the 9th-ranked rushing attack on a traditional running football team. Now here on 2nd and 10, they come out in the flex, and it's a give up the gut, a broken tackle, but two other defenders are there. Roberson tackled for another no-gain play, and it's going to be 3rd and long once again. Navy with an opportunity here to get a stop. They break committee. It's a spread set for Army. 3-2 defense for Navy. Hayford back to pass to the sideline, and momentum carries Norman out of bounds. Not a whole lot of opportunity there for Army. Even had Norman been able to turn upfield quickly, there were defenders near the goal-to-go line. And a good punt this time by Army goes out of bounds inside the 5. And this time it'll be Navy who's bottled up, as they will start on their own 2-yard line, very much in the shadow of their own goalposts. 2.5 to be specific, as Navy comes out with 11 personnel, 3-man front for Army. To give up the gut to Bright, he's tackled quickly. It's a gain of 1. Ball pushed out to around the 3-yard line. And it'll now be 2nd and 9.
It's 2nd down. And as they come up to the line, they're going to be in the shadow of their own goalpost.
Navy breaking the huddle, 11 personnel. Peter Moss back to pass, looking quickly to Bright, tackled quickly. He picks up 3.5. They'll call it 4. It's going to be 3rd down and 6 for the midshipmen at their own 7-yard line. Breaking the huddle are the midshipmen, 5 wide receivers. On set, surveying a 2-man front for Army. Moss dropping back, looking over the middle, and it's dropped by Mays. He had it and then dropped it. The sophomore unable to hang on. It's going to be 4th and 6 inside their own 10. No question here as to what Navy will do. 2 possessions by each team, 2 punts. And as the first quarter comes to a close on this play,
They get this one off, and it's a beauty.
with Stratton underneath it, returning it, tackled at about the 46-yard line. We have no score at the end of the first quarter. 0-0, 2 teams locked in a battle.
I agree with you, Brad. I think sometimes you look
A slugfest so far. 0-0 as we go into the second frame. Army football.
We can only hope the second quarter is as good as the first. Tight ball game, folks. This is the point.
Out of committee they come, and it's a flex bone once again for Army. It is a 4-man front for Navy. Hayford under center. Gives it up. They got to Roberson, who falls forwards, picks up 4. And it's going to be 2nd down, 6 yards to go.
It's 2nd down, 6 yards to go.
46-yard line, the marker. Army breaks the huddle. They come out in a flex bone. No, check that. It's a wing bone. 4 down linemen for Navy. 5 near the line of scrimmage. And Hayford finds a sliver of a gap. weasels his way upfield for 4.5, and it's going to be third down, 1 yard to go from about the 36-yard line when the two teams meet at the line of scrimmage once again. Just a little bit here into the second quarter. Third possession for Army. No points so far. 4 punts between the two teams. Then in motion, give up the gut to Roberson. He breaks the tackle, has running room. Another tackle and brought down by the defense after 10 yards. First down, Black Knights. Inside the 30, down to about the 26-yard line as we approach the 7-minute mark before the half. 14th ranked Navy coming into the game with 3 losses. 8-3 on the year. Army at 7-4. 2 winning teams doing battle today. Getting the pitch off to Jude, who breaks the tackle, then stumbles, gets the first down almost exactly. Joe Jude's first carry of the day for him, the HB2, the redshirt freshman, picks up 10. And it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 16.
From the 16-yard line. First down.
4 down linemen for Navy. 8 men in the box, facing off against a flex bone for Army. Norman finding a little bit of room. He gets 2. Almost caught the edge, but got a little bit too close there to Ray Flynn. Ray Flynn swallows him up there on the tackle from the right end position. And we will have 2nd and 8.
From the 14-yard line. It's 2nd down.
14-yard line, 13.5 is about where they spot it. And we've got another wing bone here by Army. Man in motion and give up the gut to Roberson. He's got the first down forwards. Picks up 9 on the play, and it's going to be 1st and goal from the 4 as Army is trying to beat down the door. Right now, they're just not. Navy defense trying to stiffen it, got about a huge goal line stand. We'll call it the 4.5 as they come out in the flex bone tight against 8 in the box. Up the gut to Roberson. He gets 4. Going to be 2nd and goal from the 1-inch line, maybe 4 inches away. Maybe a little bit more. They do call it, in fact, the 1. And it looks like Navy is going to come out with a stacked box in the goal line set. It's another wing bone tight for Army. It's another give up the gut to Roberson. There's a flag on the play. Let's see who it's on. Offsides on the defense. Normally a 5-yard penalty. In this case, it'll be a 5-inch penalty. And we will replay 2nd down from the 1. Ball nestled just inches from the paint as Hayford comes up underneath center. Give up the gut to Roberson. Tackled quickly. No gain on the play. Going to be 3rd and goal from the inch line. Looked like if he went backwards, it was only by about 2 or 3 inches. And it'll be 3rd and goal from about the same spot on the field. They'll go at it again. 4th play here from very close in, including the play the penalty was on. And in motion, pitch out to the side, and Jude waltzes into the end zone. And Army attacks the edge. Joe Jude's 2nd carry into the paint, and Army strikes first. It is 6-0 Black Knights awaiting the extra point.
Just give it to your main man anytime you're near the goal line.
And he converts the extra point. A 9-play, 45-yard drive. And the result, 7 points.
Boy, this offense right now is just being physical, really controlling the line of scrimmage, and it's opening up some nice big lanes for the running back.
This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback.
Kickoff is downed in the end zone. You know what that means. folks. That means Navy's going to start with the ball there
In a game that's this close,
here for their third possession.
possessions.
They will come out in a spread set. Army with a two-man front. Moss dropping back and throwing to Bright. Catches it, immediately hit. 3-yard gain to Joe Bright. Out into the right flat. 2nd and 7 now from the 28-yard line.
2nd down and 7. Ball on their own.
As Navy now coming out in the eye-tight formation. 3-man front for Army. Fuller comes in motion. Moss drops back to pass and intercepted by Harris. Army with a big pick early on here in the. Moss went to Henry. He was covered well. And because of the good coverage, it's Army football at the 41-yard line, about halfway through the second quarter. Army football here. It's a one-play drive for Navy on their third possession.
Around the 32-yard line.
2nd and 1 following the 9-yard gain by Jude. Ball now at the 32-yard line.
2nd down and 1.
As Army breaking the huddle, coming out in a wingbone set. Up the gut to Roberson. He gets half a yard. That's not enough for 3rd and inches. Ryan Downs coming out from the secondary from the safety position to make that tackle. Forcing a 3rd down here.
So it's 3rd down, and they're just inches away from picking up the 1st down.
Wingbone set for the Black Knights. 5 men on line of scrimmage for Navy. Roberson up the gut and falls forwards, picks up 7 on the play. 1st down, Black Knights.
Just what they did with that big run.
1st and 10, Army at the 24-yard line.
From the 24-yard line, it's 1st down.
Wingbone once again for Army. And they run the option out to Jude. Jude picking up a block, and down into the end zone he goes. 24-yard carry. Key block there on the edge to spring him open. Turns 7 yards into 24. And just like that, Army ahead by 2 scores following the Navy interception.
And he hits the PAT. So a 4-play, 41-yard drive, and it results in a touchdown. Chapman has the ball set, and he looks ready to kick this one deep. Excellent kick. He's pushed out of bounds right around the 18-yard line. Moss has heard his name all week long. He's seen it in the paper. He's seen it on the internet. He's seen it on TV, the radio talk stations, the whole thing. I don't know if that's getting to him, but right now it looks like the hype is built up too much for this kid.
I think you might be onto something there, Brad, because, you hate to speculate about what he's thinking about, but it just looks like he's pressing, and he's trying to make things happen as opposed to just kind of making a read and making the proper throw. I think he's squeezing the ball in on some of his throws. I don't see his decision-making being what we're accustomed to seeing. Now, he's got a whole second half to try to turn this thing around, but up to this point, he's just not playing the way you expect him to play.
Quick throw, and he's got his receiver again, and he's level at the 39-yard line. They'll line up with 5 wide receivers.
Defense has to be very frustrated there. They did everything. They got to the quarterback. In fact, it looked like they had a chance to bring him down for the sack, and somehow he's able to throw the ball away.
Second down and 10 to go. Ball on their own 39. Quarterback in the gun. Empty backfield. 5 wide receivers in the formation. Makes the catch, and look out.
Good job here by the receiver to look the ball in and ensure he has possession. That's the right way to catch a pass.
They'll spread the field with 5 wide. Catches it, and he's looking for more. And down he goes at the 42-yard line. Wideout makes the first down catch. Tackle right around the 30.
He is such a reliable target. You throw it anywhere near him, and this guy's going to get his hands on it and make a catch.
First and 10. Ball on the 30-yard line. Enough for the first down. He's tackled right around the 16-yard line. That makes it first and 10. And this play is number 8 on the drive. They come out in a 5-wide set. And for Moss, he's coming very close to breaking the school record for career touchdown passes.
What an awesome field general he's been in his career. All these
Midshipmen now kick off. Army with a 1-score lead and the football. 1:44 before the half. The 25-yard line is where they place the ball. As is the customary conditions following a touchback. And Army out of the huddle. In a flex bone set. Navy with 3 down linemen. Back to pass is Hayford. He breaks the tackle, but he can't break it completely. And they're going to get the stack for 4. It's going to be 2nd and 14. From the 21-yard line.
Looking to dig themselves out of a little hole here after the sack. It's 2nd and 14.
Hayford coming up under center is the Army pro set. 2 backs in the backfield, and Hayford dropping back quickly to the sideline to Norman. And similar to a first quarter play on the left sideline, Norman's momentum carries him clean out of bounds after just a 2-yard gain. Now going to be 3rd and 11.
Here's 3rd and 11. Ball on the 24-yard line.
Army lining up in a pro set. Back to pass is Hayford. And throwing out to Norman, he picks up a few yards. It's not going to be enough for the first down. It's going to be 4th and 2, and Navy calls it. That's their first time out with 1:31 to go. It's going to be an arm punt coming up. Navy is going to have an opportunity here for a 2-minute drill with 1:31 and 2 timeouts on the clock currently. We'll see how much time's left after the punt return. King underneath it and tackled after an 11-yard gain. So there'll be 1:23 on the clock. Navy will get the ball to start the second half.
I think he better, Brad. I think you're right. He's playing well enough for this team to win, but unfortunately they're losing. They still have a lot of football left.
They trail 14-7 currently.
One way to try to get this team to turn it around is he's going to have to provide that leadership.
5 wide set for the midshipman. 2 down linemen for Army. Back to passes Moss on the zag route to Henry. He cuts upfield, gets the first down for 16. And back to the no huddle they go. Reggie Henry, 7 catches for 87 yards, the bulk of it so far. Moss looking and sacked on the play. Peter Moss goes down for the 3rd time today. Navy forced to use a timeout, and now they face 2nd and long from their own 44. Now, obviously, with Navy getting the football to start the second half, while they would love to tie it up before the half, they're not going to do anything reckless. It's going to keep them from having an opportunity in the second half. Shotgun set here for the midshipmen. They've got a time here for a little bit of rest. Back to pass is Moss. And throws to Fuller. He picks up 9. That's half the distance. Now going to be 3rd down and 9. And Navy won't call the timeout in case they don't get it. If they don't get it, they don't want to give Army too much time. And now they face 3rd down and 9 from just a little bit inside Army territory. Peter Moss in the shotgun 5 wide. He drops back, looking, scrambling out to the side. And incomplete. It was good coverage on the play, and it's going to fall to the turf. And with 4th and 9, Navy forced to punt the ball back to Army. And the Black Knights will recover the football with a little bit under 40, maybe as few as 32 ticks on the clock. They have 2 timeouts, but this broadcaster did miss the meetings with the Army coaching staff this week leading up to the broadcast, so no knowledge as of right now as to how aggressive they are in this situation. As it stands, it's a 1-score game with 34 seconds on the clock, and it looks like Army's bringing out 3 wide receivers.
In a game that's this close, you can't afford to waste possessions.
It's the Army pro offense. It's an offset pro. Hayford dropping back and to the sideline once again to Norman, who pushed out of bounds. He picks up 7 yards out to about the 27-yard line. 2nd down and 3, although down and distance matter a lot less now than the amount of time on the clock. 29 ticks to be precise. The other important statistic is the yard marker. It's only Army's 27. Flex bone set for the Black Knights. Hayford dropping back. And it's an incompletion. That time, Navy got a good pass rush on. And Army fortunate to get the ball away and have it fall to the turf. Now going to be 3rd down and 3 from the 27-yard line. 1-score ball game in Army's favor as they come out on the 27-yard line. Option play to Norman up the gut. And Navy's going to call timeout with 23 seconds left. They want to have the ball and see what they can do with no timeouts and less than 20. There's the punt by Army down to the 23-yard line of Navy. King underneath it. And he's tackled after a couple of hits at the 39. There's a flag on the play. It looks like it's clipping. That will bring the ball back. And Navy will have the ball with 11 seconds left on their own 24-yard line. We'll see if Navy continues to push the envelope here or if they're content to go into the half. Looks like they're going to bring the quarterback out just to take a knee. Navy done pressing. They will go into the half down by 7 with an opportunity to tie it when we begin the second half. Currently, Army with a 1-score lead on the back of an interception by Navy. We will break for halftime for 360 seconds. We'll throw some stats up on the screen, let you digest them. But so far, a defensive slugfest, as both teams punted twice. Army utilizing a short field to get their first score, and then following a throw into tight coverage towards Reggie Henry that Army was able to pick off and turn that into a short field. And then Navy gallantly marching down the field quick as they could to pull within 7, and then making some attempts to steal a second to pull off the ever difficult double. They didn't take too many huge risks. They took enough risks to give themselves a chance to pull off the double, but smartly knew when it was time to take a break, take a breather, reset the heads, go into the locker room, come up with a strategy, analyze the first half, catch a breath, which is what we'll do now for 360 seconds. We'll be right back in 6 minutes.
Much like the Spanish Inquisition, no one expects Minnesota to show up, but it's halftime and Spector's away, so I thought I'd sneak in and say a few words. Glad to be here, glad to shoehorn my way in here and voice my opinions on you guys. Sorry, Ninja, sorry, Spector. But it's been an exciting ball game. We've seen some good play, and I expect we'll see quite a bit more. Some bad bounces and some, bad luck for Navy, but I think that we're going to see a pretty tight game going into the second half. If we look at the stats, you'll see that there's some, interesting alignments here. So, first, score, we got 14-7 first downs, relatively the same. Total offense, really not that far apart. It's gonna be a good game. These games have always been a lot of fun to watch, and I look forward to seeing the second half. Let's see here, third down completion percent. Navy really not doing well on third down here, but I think as time progresses, you'll see that they'll reassess their strategy and get into it pretty well. They know what they're doing. They know how to respond to adversity. The key will be, can Army maintain what they're doing? And given Navy's strategy changes that they will likely implement, I don't know if they can. Red zone, they're both 100%. Turnovers, Navy's got 1, but that'll happen to just about anybody. No fourth down spent in the entire game. That's really all the stats I have access to, and so just good to say hi to everybody. As always, my broadcasting is brought to you by Russian River Brewery. I'm not actually sponsored by them. I just fucking love their products. They're amazing. More on the anecdotal side, I've always compared the battle between Army and Navy as being similar to the Peloponnesian War. We've got a land power and a sea power, with ideological differences in, conflict resolution and, very different, approaches to warfare. And we're seeing that play out in front of us here today. Navy being, the Athenian, strategist, whereas Army being more of the Spartan brute force effort. We're certainly seeing that come out and play today. Of course, anyone who remembers the Peloponnesian War does remember that it is actually Sparta who wins the war, but I think today we might rewrite some history. Sparta was only able to do it with help from the Persians. So, barring Eastern intervention, I think we're going to see some revisionists or some revisionism in this regard. But analogy aside, it's been a great game. I've played against Coach Ninja a number of times, and he's always a really tough opponent. He really knows how to size up his opponents, and he knows how to kind of pick at their flaws. He comes after you not like, a raging bull, but, a stalactite dripping water, and down. He just, it's like gravity. It's unavoidable. He weighs down on you. And so it's going to be interesting to see how Army can keep up with his, imminent and persistent, strategy and, meticulousness. I have a lot of respect for both coaches, Spectre and Ninja. But since Ninja's playing, I'm obviously going to talk him up quite a bit more. Ninja's quite the strategist. Then let's just all agree Navy's way cooler than Army. I mean, come on. You tell someone you're in the Navy, they're like, oh shit. You tell them in the Army, you're like, all right, fuck wad. Give me another crayon. Yeah. And yeah. Well, I think I've forced my way into the conversation quite enough. I'm going to relinquish the microphone before they notice I've done anything too terrible. And good luck to Coach Ninja.
Indeed, there are the first 150 yards to 120. 14-7 is the score. 105 yards rushing for Army and negative 25 for Navy. A couple of those were sacks. The one pick playing a role in the first half. And Army with about a minute and 40 edge in time of possession. We are set to get the second half underway.
All right, Reese, David, thanks, guys. Just about set to start the third quarter.
As Army will kick off the Navy. Midshipman underneath it. His foot takes him out of the back of the end zone. They would have taken a knee, I suspect, regardless. And now the second half will begin with Navy at their own 25, trailing by 7.
This deficit can be easily overcome, sure. But they have to be thinking if they don't get something going on this series, the burden...
Navy in the eye-tight set. Joe Bright in the backfield, 3-man front for Army. Up the gut to Bright. He picks up 3 yards. And it will be 2nd and 7 on just the second carry of the day for Joe Bright.
From their own 28-yard line. 2nd down.
Navy breaking the huddle. They audible at the line. Joe Bright with the carry. And he's tackled for after a gain of 1. Going to be 3rd down and 6 to go for the midshipmen. Here in the very early going, the very early stages of the third quarter, we've got a 14-7 game in favor of the Bucs. Here in Philadelphia, still a bright sunny day. The weather is holding up as they break the huddle. Navy in a 4-wide set with a tight end. And caught in traffic. King makes the catch. There were defenders in the vicinity. Navy gets away with one there, converts the first down. 38-yard line, now the marker. Navy lining up in a shotgun split big. 3 down linemen for Army. Triple option play out to the left. Moss gets good yardage, 7 in fact. Now going to be second and short. And that's where Navy wants to be. That is in their wheelhouse. 2nd and 3 to be specific.
They need about 3 yards to get the first here on 2nd down.
Navy now up on the line of scrimmage in an eye-tight formation. Joe Bright in the backfield. 3-man front for Army. Bright on the handoff. Tackled after a gain of 2. Going to be 3rd down and 1, and Navy's going to go no. They're going to stay in the eye-tight. Up the gut to Scott. Leonard Scott, the fullback, picks up 3. It's a 1st down for the midshipmen. As they approach, in fact, are on the midfield stripe.
From the 50, it's 1st down.
Shotgun split big. 2 backs in the backfield, 2 tight ends. Moss about 4 yards behind the center. Give up the gut to Perry White. Perry White picks up 3 yards. Now going to be 2nd down and 7 for the Middies. It's Perry White's first carry of the day, as Navy has started the second half going back to basics. Back to a run-heavy attack, now looking like they might pass here on 2nd and 7. Out in the flat to Joe Bright. He falls forwards, picks up an extra 1.5 yards and turns 5 into 6.5, and we've got 3rd and 1.
They've looked good so far on 3rd down in this drive. Let's see what happens here.
Navy breaks the huddle in a spread set. 2-man front for Army. Back to passes. Moss over the middle to Henry. He makes the 1st down. 7. And Navy has a fresh set of downs in Army territory.
Quarterback's performance on 3rd down is vital to your team's success.
Here's play number 10 on the drive.
First and 10 inside the 35-yard line of Army. Navy lining up in a shotgun split big. Moss surveying the field, running triple option to the left. Has running room, pitches it back, loses 2 on the pitch. White gets 5 when Moss had 7. Now going to be 2nd and 5 from the 29-yard line. Just past the halfway mark of the 3rd quarter. We're on the opening possession of the 2nd half still, as Navy has gone back to their power running game with some success. Now facing 2nd and 5. Up the gut to Bright. He's got the 1st down and more. Picks up 9 total. Fresh set of downs for the midshipmen. 1st down Navy. 19-yard line is where the ball is spotted, as Navy continues to move the football down the field.
And this is the 12th play of the drive.
Breaking the huddle, we see Navy in a shotgun split big again, this time up the gut to Bright. And he's got the 1st down. It's another 1st down for the midshipmen. This power running game, matriculating the ball down the And now Navy has first and goal from the 7-yard line of the Black Knights, looking to tie this game up, hoping for the ball to find its way into the paint.
Play of the drive coming up.
Following the committee meetings, Army comes out with 3 on the line. Navy comes out in the shotgun split big. Moss on the quarterback keeper, stumbles his way into the end zone. Stumbling, touchdown, Navy. Extra point will tie it at 14.
Nice job by the offense to get the final few yards to the end zone.
Yeah, they knew what.
A 13-play, 68-yard drive.
I mean, you and I've been watching
As Navy
every week. He is impressive.
finds home base,
Sit down and talk with
goes
him.
back to the basics,
That's the thing that really I took away from
takes the 3.5 yards, in many cases, gladly, and works their way down the field for the tying score. Now with 2:32 to go in the third, Army has the ball finally to start the second half for them. And Roberson tries to change direction. There's a flag on the play, probably a face mask on the play. It is indeed a face mask. That's going to give Army a fresh set of downs, 15-yard penalty. It's going to put the ball out to the Army 42-yard line, as we are locked in a tie ball game with 2:29 to go in the third quarter.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on their own.
Army coming out at the 42. First and 10 for the Black Knights. They come out in the wing bone. Navy responding with 8 in the box. They try the option play. There's nowhere to go. 3 defenders attacking Jeff Hayford. He's tackled for a loss of 4. No reasonable avenue for him to pitch it. Nowhere to go with the football for him, as Navy swallows it up with personnel in the box. They came out with an 8-man front, and it worked to success there. Now second and 14 from the 39.
From their own 39-yard line, it's second down.
Army out in a flex bone set. Navy with a 3-man front. Hayford dropping back quickly over the middle to Stratton. Stratton picks up 13 of the 14. They're going to call it 3rd and inches.
Surprised if they went to the air again.
Just a yard and a half, 2 yards into Navy territory. That's what we have, a tie ball game here with a little bit over a minute and a half to go in the third quarter here in Philadelphia. Out of the huddle they come, and Army in a wing bone. Navy staying with 8 men in the box. They give it up the gut to Roberson. He changes direction on the count, and that's good for a first down. Picks up 13 yards. Roberson had changed direction before with little to no effect. That time, changing direction with great effect. Ball now resting on the 35-yard line. Army football locked in a 14-14 affair. Army coming out in a flex bone set. Up the gut to Roberson, and he picks up 3.5. They'll call it 4. Going to be second and 6 from about Navy's 30-yard line. They'll call it the 31, I suspect. They do indeed. And now with 1 minute to go, 1 minute remaining in the third quarter. Army facing a second and 6. Navy defense trying to hold.
It's second down, 6 to go. Ball on the 31.
Flex bone set for Army. Man in motion. Counter play up the middle to Joe Jude for 2 yards. That's going to make it 3rd and 4. Ball now at the 29-yard line. 3rd down, 4 yards to go. Less than a minute to go in the 3rd quarter.
So it's
3rd and 4 presents interesting possibilities. Navy prepares for the situation with a 3-3-5 defense. Army coming out in the Army Pro. Back to pass is Hayford, looking quickly over the middle and caught by Rivers, but he is 2 yards short, 2.5. They'll call it 3 yards short. It'll be 4th and 3 from the 27. We'll see the special teams unit come out on the field for the first time today, other than extra points, as Army will come on to attempt a 44-yard field goal. Moore on the hold. Kick is up and curls to the left, but sneaks inside the left upright. And Army retakes the lead, this time by 3. It's 17-14. There are 6 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Navy will take the touchback as they hold Army out of the end zone on that drive. A face mask providing 15 yards. And so now, with 6 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, Navy will take the ball over at their 25 following that touchback. The power running game worked to great effect last drive for Navy. We'll see if they try it again. They are lining up in the shotgun split big. Looks like they'll at least begin the drive that way. Triple option play. Moss is stumbled but finds his footing quickly, and he picks up 9 on the final play of the 3rd quarter. It'll be a 2nd and 1 as we begin the 4th. Army ahead by 3. The running play by Peter Moss setting up a 2nd and 1. Army leading by 3 as we begin the 4th quarter. Navy with the football at their own 34-yard line. Back to pass is Moss, quickly over the middle to Henry. Henry picks up good yardage, picks up some blocking, turns it into a 14-yard gain. Going to be 1st and 10 Navy. Following play. Ball at the 48-yard line of the midshipman. Navy back out in the split big. Moss on the keeper. He's got space. He's inside the 30 to 20. Tackled at the 14-yard. A 38-yard gain by Peter Moss. And Navy in Army's red zone very quickly. 17-14 Army, but Navy driving.
So it's 1st and 10 after the big run.
Shotgun split big. 2 backs in the backfield, 2 tight ends, 3-man front for Army. Moss on the keeper, tackled after a gain of 3 yards. Now going to be 2nd and 7, and Peter Moss is down. Peter Moss, folks, is down on the field. That could be a huge injury. He will return soon. He's got a bruised elbow, but as of right now, field, Navy's going to have to figure out what to do here on 2nd and 7 from the 11 without their leading player on offense besides Reggie Henry, their starting quarterback, Peter Moss.
Well, after that injury, we'll get to see
Navy now coming out in the eye tight on 2nd and 7. Brian Humphrey under center. Up the gut to Bright. He tries to fall forwards, picks up 3. Now going to be 3rd down and 4 yards to go. Eight-yard line, the marker. It's 3rd and 4. There's about 6.5 minutes to go. And Humphrey is playing quarterback for the midshipmen. Humphrey dropping back quickly to Henry. He's tackled quickly. Enough for the 6-yard gain to Reggie Henry. Navy says, let's not risk further injury. We're going to keep Moss off the field until he's ready to come back. They're going to keep Humphrey out there. One suspects the next play may be a handoff to Joe Bright. They're lined up in a tight set. Both teams are. Humphrey gives to Bright up the gut, and he's tackled just shy of the end zone. Picks up 2, though. And Navy goes no huddle. High normal formation for the midshipmen. Goal line set for Army. Humphrey taking a minute, redirecting his offense. Give to the left side. Bright finds his way into the end zone. First time today, 20-17, awaiting the extra point. Brian Humphrey completes a 3rd down pass to Reggie Henry. He does his part, and Joe Bright does the rest. Navy ahead by 3, awaiting a kick. Following the touchback, we see Army taking over at their 25-yard line. And for the first time today, they are trailing. 21-17 the scoreline. Midshipmen with the lead here in the 4th quarter. Flexbone set. Reversal of play. Hayford gaining nothing. 2nd and 10 coming up.
From their own 25-yard line.
25-yard line is where the ball rests still. Now 2nd and 10. Army pro set against a 3-3-5 defense. Back to passes Hayford. Quickly over the middle to Stratton. Stratton tackled after a 2-yard gain. They'll call it 3rd down and 9. 3rd and 9. Big 3rd down coming up here for both teams.
Biggest 3rd down and long of the football game right here in the 4th quarter.
Out of the huddle they come. Army with 3 wide receivers. Back to passes Hayford. Looking, and throwing deep. And almost caught. But Chad Bellamy comes to the rescue. Gets enough fingers in. And the ball falls harmlessly to the turf. It's going to be 4th and 9. Army is forced to punt with 4:42 remaining. Navy will get the football back ahead by 4.
He's to the 40. That was a great hit. He wasn't getting away from that one.
King with an 11-yard return. That's going to set Navy up with the football at their own 41-yard line. 4:33 to go in the ball game. Navy ahead by 4 points. Both teams with their full complement of timeouts.
Both teams realize that when the ball is snapped, we're 1 play away from a very different ball game. Navy is up by 4.
Shotgun split big. Audible at the line of scrimmage. 3-man front for Army. Peter Moss taking off to the left side. Finds running room. He 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, midshipmen. It's a 1-play touchdown drive. It's a 59-yard scoring play. Peter Moss, welcome back to the game, son. 27-17, awaiting the extra point. And now the Black Knights find themselves in real down by 11. They're going to have to change their offense. 4:25 are on the clock. They trail by 11 points. They have 3 timeouts, but they've only got 4:25 on the clock. They go with the running play. Roberson breaks the tackle, falls forwards for 3. 30 more of those plays, and they can tie this thing up or take the lead. 28-yard line is where the ball sits. It's 2nd and 7, just a shade over 4 minutes remaining.
It's 2nd down, 7 to go. Ball on their own 28.
Army pro set, 3-3-5 defense. Back to pass is Hayford. Quickly out to the sideline to Norman. Norman picks up 4. Out of bounds he goes. That'll momentarily stop the clock. And Army faces a 3rd and 3.
They need about 3 yards to get the first down here on 3rd down.
Flex bone set for the Black Knights. Up the gut to Roberson. He does not get the first down. They'll call it 4th and 1. And with 3:44, Army forced to go for it on their own 34. More importantly, more time, more of those precious seconds tick off the clock. They're going to put this thing under review, take another look at it. And EA Sports is going to show off their slow motion camera. And when they finish, they will reach the same conclusion that the refs on the field did. And we will have 4th and 1. The tip of the ball does not get past the line before the tip of his knee touches the turf. They reverse the call. The camera angles show that the ball was not passed. But we know how pixels work in computer games. They can be deceiving. We've seen feet out of bounds counted as a catch. In this case, ball short of the marker counted as a first down. No matter, clock is now moving. 3:37 to go. Pitch out to the right side. Jude breaks the tackle, tries to cut up, but tackled quickly. 5-yard gain, clock still moving. They'll go to the huddle with 3:21 when they exit it. More precious seconds off the clock. 40-yard line, the marker. Army trails by 11. High on the clock. Back to pass is Hayford. Taking off. Up the middle of the field, slides. Short of the first down, will again keep the clock moving. Now under 3 minutes. This is not where Army wants to be, having to throw the ball so. Not the strength of their team, not what they're built for, as you can see. 3rd and 2 here from the 43. Back to pass is Hayford, and he is sacked on the play. Jeff Hayford goes down to the turf. It's going to be 4th and 8. Desperation time for the Black Knights. All right, folks, here's your ball game. 2:32 to go on the 4th and 8. Hayford under center, dropping back. Sacked back-to-back plays. That'll do it, folks. Navy will take possession of the football at about the 32-31-yard line. They are by 11 points with 2:25 to go. Army will spend their timeouts. Navy will be sure to make them use of them. And when it's all said and done, Army will have little to no time on the clock when and if they get the ball back.
Conversely, the defense defense is thinking, uh-oh, we can't let him get another one so quickly.
Moss on the keeper, picks up 9. Army's going to hang on to their timeouts for now, and that's going to put Peter Moss over 100 yards thanks to that 59-yard run on his previous carry. He's got 11 for 107, nearly 60 of them coming on one play. 38 on another. 2 carries for, what's 38 plus 59? Well, that's 87 yards. He's got 11 for 107, so he's got 9 carries for 20 and 2 for 87. There's the first time out by Army. Navy comes out for 2nd and 1. Shotgun split big. Bright finding room and finding the end zone. Touchdown Navy. They scored a little quickly, but it's 7 points if they get the extra point. And that's just about as good as taking 2 minutes off the clock. They're up by 17. The extra point will put them up by 18. Army will get the football back, but now they're going to need 2 onside kicks along the way.
And he adds the extra point.
.132 seconds remaining in the football game. Army trails by 18. They need 3 touchdowns. Technically, mathematically, there's enough time to do that. But the odds, the numbers, and the percentages are against them. Hayford dropping back. Another sideline pass, this time to Jackson. And the pussy football of throwing it directly to the sideline, that horizontal football. Not working today against this Navy defense. 4 times they've gone to the direct sideline. The best they've done is 6 yards. They've had 2 plays go for 2 yards or less.
Just under 2 to go in the game.
Hayford dropping back. Has some time. Now a desperation play deep. Orlando Henderson gets his 2nd deflection of the day. It's an easy play as the ball was in the air, about as long as a Bob Ross painting.
He was smart, got in position, knocked the football away, and didn't give the receiver a chance to make a play on the football.
Going to be 3rd and 5 now from the 30. Flex bone set for Army. 3 wide receivers. Hayford dropping back, looking. On the run, throws to Rivers, complete. That's the type of play they needed more of in the 2nd and 3rd quarter and couldn't find. Too little, too late here for Army. Hayford dropping back. Out in the flat to Norman, and he's pushed out of bounds. That will stop the clock after a 9-yard gain. 99 seconds to go.
They can pull it in and make something happen.
18-point ball game.
Short yardage situation here. It's 2nd down and 1. Navy will take their first time out of the half.
Navy's going to call timeout. They didn't quite like the look. And their attention to detail tells them, hey, we can't keep these timeouts with us for next game. That's a mistake we've seen other coaches sometimes make. I know that Coach Seawack, if I can call somebody out, hates calling timeouts.
Under pressure, makes the catch and look out.
The pass out to Roberson. to the sideline and out of bounds. 10-yard play. 122. Army still needs 3 touchdowns.
From the 21-yard line. First down.
21-yard line is the marker.
In the fourth quarter.
Flexbone set. Hayford dropping back.
Pulls down the catch and he's got
Quick pass, an outlet pass to Roberson. He's pushed out of bounds after 9. 13-yard line. So Army's driving, but they've spent over 2 minutes here trying to get the first of 3 touchdowns. They just don't have it in them to be aggressive.
1 yard to go. Ball on the 13.
Not a part of their makeup. Back to pass is Hayford. Looking. Another outlet pass to Roberson. And that's good for the first down. First down for Army. And boy, did they need that. More first down. That serves them very well.
It's first down, and they'll be looking for 6 points here.
Now left with no choice but to score. No more first downs to get for Army. They'll throw over the middle to Stratton. And they will spend their first of 2 remaining timeouts with 58 seconds to go. 8-yard line, the marker. Army trying to figure out a way if they can get another first down. Second and goal here from the 8. Army pro set. Back to pass goes Hayford. Quickly over the middle, deflected. A lot of traffic there. And it falls to the turf. Now going to be 3rd and goal from the 8. Three touchdowns in 54 seconds. Could you do it? You would need a little help. Army looking for the first bullet here. 3rd and goal from the 8. Navy trying to keep the score line as large as they can. And it's another pussy pass on the sideline. Jeff Hayford finding the sideline quite well. That's the 5th pussy pass out to the sideline today. This one goes for no gain. So 60% of the time, 2 yards or less. And the other 2 have gained 5 yards each. The officials want to take another look at this. They haven't had enough pornography in their feed. He gets 1 foot down in bounds.
So they'll overturn the call and rule this a completion.
There was a bad call made on the field, but they were able.
They'll call it a yard and a half. They'll move it to 4th and goal from the 6. Now out of options, Army is going to have to vertically. Whatever will they do with no more chances to throw to the sideline? Flexbone formation. Hayford under center. Back to pass. Looking. And into the end zone he goes. Incomplete. Turnover on downs. Navy will take over. Army. 46 seconds left. These 2 teams are unique in that they will serve together in the United States military. They are brothers at the conclusion of this game. We will see how Navy wants to treat their brothers here with 46 seconds remaining.
The offense was able to punch it in the end zone on that last drive. They'll come back out looking for more of the same.
Navy lining up in a shotgun split big. Peter Moss on the keeper. Up the middle he goes. Picks up 7. Army does not call their timeout. And the clock now will start moving when they place the ball. 38 seconds. 35 on the play clock. In theory, Navy could take a knee and have enough time. The knee and the action of the knee. We'll see how it all works out. I doubt Army will call their timeout. Victory formation. Peter Moss, triumphant. Navy with the victory in the Army-Navy game. He takes the knee. Army does not call the timeout, and that 35-17, the final score. Navy goes back to basics at the half. They trailed 14-7. They had 3 runs and 13 passes at the half. In the second half, they went back to their option misdirection power running game to great effect. They went back to the drawing board. They went back to basics. They went back to what they do best. And it worked with great effect. They were able to pound Army and pound them again, and then break a couple of runs big for Peter Moss, a 38-yarder and a 58. The two by far the two biggest plays offensively for Navy today. This was a game that didn't have too many huge offensive plays. There was the 59-yard run that absolutely sticks out. There was the 38-yard run, and that sticks out if for no other reason than I don't think there were any other plays greater than 20 yards for either team the rest of the game. A lot of nip and tuck, a lot of 5-yard, 7-yard, 14-yard plays. No explosive plays other than those two. But the Navy defense holds Army to 3 points in the second half. Navy goes back to basics and scores 28 points in the second half. And they were down by 30 yards in offense at the half. They win by 107. They were down in first downs. They win that. They were down in rushing yards. In fact, Navy had minus 25 yards rushing at the half. They finished with 180. So 205 yards rushing for Navy in the second half. And that is the story of the ball game. They had over 135, 140 maybe even 150 yards passing at the half. I believe they had about 150 at the half. Not a whole lot of passing yards, just some third down completions to extend drives. But Navy, with 5 running plays at the break, 2 of those were sacks, racks up 21 rushes in the second half, over 200 yards rushing on 20 carries. So about 10 yards a carry in the second half on average. They go back to the ground game, and that is the story, folks, as Navy emerges with a convincing 35-17 victory. They forced Army into 14 third down attempts. Army completing a somewhat respectable 7 of them, but you never want to see 14 third down attempts for a team. The 1 turnover in the second quarter gave Army the lead, and that was about certainly the peak for the Black Knights. That was the peak moment after the mistake by Navy. But the second half, all Navy is they go back to what they know best. They stay patient, they get their 3 yards, and they break a couple of big ones. And that is enough for Navy to pull it away, and running away, Navy wins 35-17. They lose the time possession battle as Army had 9 and change at the half. They finished with 20 and change at the end. So about 10 minutes per half for Army, consistent there in the time possession. Just goes to show you that time possession is a useful stat, but it is not the end-all be-all by. And Navy's power running game sees them on to a 28-3 second half. 28-3, the scoring margin in the second half. And 28-3 is quite a nice scoreline for a half or for a closing half of a game. Peter Moss with 112 yards on 13 carries. As we mentioned, 87 of those on 2 carries. And he winds up with 2 touchdowns, as does Joe Bright, punching it in from short distance for Joe Bright. And Humphrey coming in and extending a drive for a few plays there when Navy really needed it. And of course, defensively, McMahon coming up with 3 big sacks, 2 of them back-to-back, to remove any doubt about the way this game was going to go. But Roach, the middle linebacker, with 11 tackles away, picking up all the trash, all the extemporaneous and extra plays in the middle of the field. Roach picking up 11 tackles. And a dominant second half performance by Navy as they did with, and they emerge with a 35-17 victory over arch rival Army to close out the season. They will finish the regular season at 9-3. They're currently ranked 14th. No telling where they'll be ranked next week, probably somewhere between 14 and 11. Going into the bowl games, going into the conference championship week. Unfortunately, your Navy midshipmen championship game. But we await eagerly to see what bowl game they may qualify for out of the American Conference. Not quite sure what tie-ins the American has with the bowl committees. So there's no telling on what arrangements the conference has with different bowls. We can tell you what might be predicted, but no telling as to whether or not that will hold. Looking at the conference standings there, we see that Syracuse did qualify for the ACC championship, and they will be facing off against a highly ranked, highly touted Georgia Tech team coming in at 11-1. They are currently ranked 3rd. And that has the potential to be a 1 versus 2, at worst a 1 versus 3 matchup. That is going to definitely have national title implications. Georgia Tech crushed user Duke. You see Duke with a 10-win season. Georgia Tech crushed them during the regular season and left no doubt. And at the half in last year's ACC championship, it was a close run affair between Syracuse and Georgia Tech. So make no illusions about Syracuse being the heavy favorite. Georgia Tech is one of the best teams in the country. And that ACC championship will be coming to you live next week, more than likely on Friday night, here on the Six Gun Ninja and League 1 Twitch channels. Number 3, Georgia Tech. Number 1, Syracuse. The winner, it's essentially a semifinal. The winner will be in the national championship game. And that academy offense for Georgia Tech will be on display. And we will see what happens in that affair between those two teams. And following next week's ACC championship game between number 3, we will get the information as to which teams are going where for what bowls. Who knows? One of these user teams between Syracuse and Navy could be playing against another user. No telling. But they will be exciting affairs, as was this week's game, this Army-Navy game, this America's game, this patriotic affair in the Liberty City, the true Liberty City, with the Liberty Bell, the birthplace of the Constitution, between our armed forces academies. It was a delicious affair, won by Navy this time. I believe they have a 5-2 edge now under Coach Ninja against Army. And that will do it for this week 15 action for League 1. We hope you'll join us for the conference championship game. As mentioned, it's going to be a good one. Number 1 versus number 3, Syracuse, Georgia Tech. That will come next week. Speaking of next week, we hope you have an excellent week. Kick its ass.